welcome back to GFF and Friends, the podcast for mom, mommy, mama, mom, mama, mommy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, GFF, a.k.a. Todd. And joining me, as always, is my teeny tiny, adorable mama's boy.
It's true.
Beautiful husband, Rob.
Hello.
Hi, babe.
I didn't want to interrupt your moment because, also I didn't know how to even interject. And I was just
Mommy. I say that because today is Mother's Day.
What?
Yay! Which one of these is applause? I got it. I did it.
All right.
Let me. There.
See, if I'd gone for it, it would have been the rim shot.
Well, it's funny because that's time released. Like, it plays for how much you press the button. So
it sounded like rain for a second, probably.
Yeah, I hit it for 1 second. I played for 1 second. So hopefully,
here comes a loud can opening. I forgot to do it before we started.
I'm just going to cut it out.
Okay.
You always do that.
Sorry.
But you do love to aggressively open a can of soda or beer. It's just what you do.
Well, it's such an achievement. I don't have any nails, so when it finally happens, it's a celebration of I opened the can.
But it's funny, between our podcast, whatever videos we've ever made, but like your old podcasts, because Rob used to do a podcast. Rob used to do several podcasts, actually, and every single one,
chatty
he loved to crack open a can of something as loudly as possible.
Well, but also,
no one ever acknowledged it.
Well, like on previous podcasts, though, many of them were also multiple hours long with several people, and they would involve multiple beverages being opened.
Yeah, the point of the one was to kind of just drink and chat the whole time.
Yeah, and it was just like kind of a nonstop sort of flow. There was no good edit point for the four of us in that room to open various things.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway.
Well, tiny man, you don't take up a lot of space. You got to take up a lot of sound.
Sure.
You got to make your presence known.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Today, Sunday, while we record this, is Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and
all the mothers and
people who mother.
Yeah, people that fill in as mothers and people who have mothers that love their mothers and people who are going to be mothers, just in every sense of the word. Lady Gaga, who is mother.
Oh, yes.
Today is her day. But yeah, I hope you guys are loving and feeling loved and dealing with this day however you deal with it, because we all have different relationships with mothers.
Yeah. It sucks for anyone that today is not a good day, but so good luck.
We're all rooting for you.
Yeah.
I actually did talk to my mom for like an hour, which never happens. My mother and I both hate talking on the phone, so we're not like super phone chatty people, but we talked for almost an hour.
That's crazy because and meanwhile I speak with my mom enough that like usually we have like 3-minute conversations where she usually goes, I have to go, and like she bails on me. So yeah, like that's
you and your mom both are, I wonder what they're doing, I'll give them a call people.
Yeah,
my mom is not that kind of people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like 90% of the phone calls you have with your mom are either her calling you and you're like, Mom, I'm busy, what? And she's like, oh, nothing, bye. And then you calling her and she'll be like, I'm driving, what? And you're like, oh, nothing, bye. Like, you have that phone call a lot.
We do, yeah. It's nice, though. It's one of those things, it never ends with like, call me back. It's usually just like, hey, when you got a minute.
Yeah. See, my problem, well, first of all, I just hate talking on the phone. But my problem with phone calls with my mom is they can go really good. Sometimes they can go south, because we are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. So we try to keep it light. But we can have really great conversations. The only problem is she rarely remembers what I tell her. It's not like a memory loss thing. She just doesn't listen.
Yeah.
So I can tell her a whole story about how Rob and I, bought this new thing and we're doing this to the house and we're having all this done, and she'll be like, oh, that's great. She'll even tell me a story in her life that reflects the same thing. And then like 2 weeks later I'll be like, yeah, so we installed the new trees in the back, and she'll be like, oh, you're getting new trees? And I'm like, Mom, I told you this entire story.
Which is funny because it's kind of like talking to your dad but on a longer term.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad does that much more quickly.
Well, yeah, he just instantly forgets. Like
he instantly never listened
in the conversation.
Yeah, he'll just ask you again.
Yeah, it happens mainly when we watch television. Who's that guy? He's the lawyer. Oh, okay. Wait, who's that guy? He's the lawyer. 5 seconds later. So who's that guy? He's the lawyer.
And then like 5 seconds, like at the end of that, he seems like a lawyer.
That's because he is the lawyer, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just, I don't know. I don't want to say it's boomers, because I don't want to generalize an entire generation, but people of a certain age, they just have trained themselves to go, yeah, and then they're not listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, unless this is one elaborate gag that he is working on. It's just a long con.
Yeah, right? It's a character joke that he's been working on for
Seriously, it's a bit
75
that no
years.
one appreciates except for him.
Yeah.
He's just tickled.
Well, I actually had to train you how to talk to my parents because your mom is kind of doing it now where she doesn't remember what we say to her. But
Not always, yeah.
For the longest time, Rob had such problems talking to my family because they don't listen. And he gets really frustrated when people don't remember what he says. And
It's like, don't ask me a question if you don't want to listen.
Yeah, but I was like, you got to learn to do the and the yes and just nod when my parents are talking because they are going to forget everything you say.
Like don't overcommit to this.
Yeah.
Like don't give more of yourself than you're getting back. Like
Yeah.
which sucks because that's not how I tend to communicate with people.
It's not how you communicate and it's not how you operate.
No.
And you generally, I would say 90% of the time, if you're speaking, it's genuine. It's something you care about and you mean.
Oh yeah, if
you're
I have
not a
nothing to
silence
say,
filler.
Yeah, if I have nothing to say, I'm going to stay quiet.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, usually, I mean, when I speak up, it's for a reason. I would think. I do say a lot, though.
I was going to say, I can't remember the last time you had nothing to say.
Well, there's a lot of stuff where occasionally you've been like talking to someone like, I have no opinion about that, but I'm going to say something because I feel like you need me to respond to you.
I have kind of trained you that
It's exhausting.
One of my love languages maybe is just acknowledgement. So like I'm very much into perfume and fragrance right now. It's part of my Zep-bound GLP-1 journey, but also I'm just obsessed with fragrance. I love it. And Rob could not care less about perfume. He actually sometimes hates it because sometimes his nose reads it as pickles.
There's edges of smells I just really don't like. And like, you know, we've at least talked about how there are some smells that I associate with particular rooms in the house or certain bodily functions. Like there's just certain smells that like I can't smell it and not immediately associate it with trying to mask something in some way.
Oh yeah.
And like, but also like I've never cared for the isolated smell of flowers. Like to me, they always smell like they hit me in a weird place in my nose and they always smell like powdery, kind of old lady-ish, like, and maybe the right combination of them is great. Like I love there are some perfumes and colognes that I think are great, but like I'm never one of those people who's just like, you know, I'm not going on an exploration of it. And you know, and I don't need that necessarily. I mean, like, you know, my scent was typically based on like my soap, my shampoo, and my deodorant, and detergent and fabric softener working in tandem. Yeah, like that was the goal of like my scent profile.
Well, also, I think we've talked about this before. You don't smell. It takes like days of literal like no showering for you to even start to develop the tiniest bit of body odor. Like you just don't smell ever, and you always smell good. Like you could not take a shower for a week, and I could smell your neck, and you still somehow smell like dryer sheets and fabric softener.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I'm very jealous. Meanwhile, I reapply deodorant 4 times a day because I just have this like musky German DNA from my grandparents.
You know, I am doing an office job that I work from home, so it's not like I'm out breaking rocks every day. So there is that.
Yeah.
But still, like, you know, I guess people...
You have a body.
People tend to smell
sweat.
like bodies after time. Yeah. I definitely do sweat. That is...
You just don't have musk glands.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous because one of my biggest...
Or I sweat and the bacteria just doesn't want me. They're like, ew, no thank you.
One of my biggest, not really phobias, but just one of my biggest things about existing in public is I never want people to think I smell bad. Like I'm just...
Well, and it's terrible. Like I remember listening to like what Katya and Trixie were like, it was one of those things of like, you don't know until someone tells you.
Yeah.
And it like, and being told that is just horrific. Like there's no way to be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's one of those things of like, often you don't know it until someone tells you.
Well, also think about the people in your life that you love that either have chronic bad breath or something about them always smells. They could be wearing a stinky perfume forever. It takes a certain threshold and a lot of, I don't want to say guts, but you know, it takes a lot of confidence to tell someone you love that they smell bad. And so otherwise you just live your life being like, well, we're going over to Sherry's house, stinky old Sherry, but like you just deal with it, you know?
Well, I mean,
and you get a reputation of being like, oh, Sherry's the stinky one.
Well, I do also feel like it's kind of a thing where, you know, you see a lot of people, I think, that are, you know, several generations older than us that have like these really out of date hairstyles that just like, you know, it's like one of those things of like, if you just did a little bit, it'd actually take you out of a time period and like you might look maybe more your age, but you'd be modernized in a way. But like it's one of those things of like, sometimes also it's just like such a hard piece of someone's identity that they just can't shake it. That's
one of my favorite trends because, you know, we're in our 40s, we're millennials. There were a lot of hardcore makeup trends for women, especially in the 90s and early 2000s of like really dark, hard eyeliner.
Oh, it's like
certain kinds of blushes.
Like the meme of Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
With
which is just the hard line of eyeliner and stuff. Different blushes, contour, highlights. Anyway, makeup trends change. And one of my favorite things on TikTok is seeing 44-year-old women being like, okay, I'm going to stop doing my makeup like it's 1998, and I'm going to try like a no makeup look that all the kids are doing. And they look 10 years younger. And it's like, oh, girl, you look so much better. Now that you stopped like trying to do bangs, you're doing a nice, just a little touch of makeup that like it's still age appropriate. But you don't look 60 anymore.
It's going to confuse the dynamic, though, because I remember, a year ago on TikTok, the whole chatter was that, like, Gen Z looked like millennial age because they grew up in the age of, like, YouTube tutorials. They're doing, like, adult-style makeup. They never got through that teen and college phase. Like, they just kind of, went straight into adulthood. So a lot of them look super old. And meanwhile, like, the Peter Pan generation of the millennials, we just are in our perma 20 styles. But it's funny because I remember seeing that and I was like, why does Gen Z look so old? And it's like, well, they're dressing like adults. Like they're, and it's achievable.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could totally see that. Well, also, I mean, one of the funniest things that's happening with all this skincare and makeup trends is that like people that are way too young are using products for old skin. They're pretty much using like facelift in a bottle, and you're like 13. What are you doing? If you start that young, you imagine what you're going to look like at 30. Like, you should not be using all these like high acid wrinkle reducers. You're a child. You're going to really mess up your face.
When the Simpsons episode, when Vegas mom says to Lisa, like, I could teach you how to do your makeup. She goes, I'm 8. She goes, but you could look 7. Yeah, it's just like
Simpsons did it. Right? See, there's always a Simpsons reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, circling back to what we were talking about is a thing Rob just does not care about is talking about perfume.
Yeah.
But he will listen to me talk about it, and then I'll be done, and he'll just be like staring at me, and I'm like, okay, I need you to be like cool or all right or change the subject or something. But I'm like, thank you for listening to me talk about all the various diptyque, fragrances I wanted to buy this week. But I need you to also say words back to me like you listened to what I just said.
Yeah. and so it very much becomes like I'm excited for you.
I'm glad that makes you happy.
Which it sounds like a read, but it is one of those things of like, well, I'm glad that you are excited about this.
It is very much a good for you.
Yeah, and I don't mean it to sound like that, but it is like a, hey, I'm glad you found your bliss here.
Yeah.
I'm not on the boat with you, but it's cool.
I just need a little acknowledgement in a conversation.
Well, and like often the fact that I'm still listening is usually a good sign. Like otherwise I'll just walk away.
Oh, you pull out your phone. You have pulled out your phone when I'm fully talking to you.
That's... Well, you also do that too, because we are of an age where phones just get pulled out all the time.
Yeah, they're like the modern cigarettes. Like it gives you something to do while something else is happening.
Yes, while you're yammering on about fragrance.
Speaking of yammering, not really.
Fragrance.
Yesterday was the West Seattle, although I guess it's the whole weekend, right?
But like yesterday was the primary day of it.
Yesterday was the West Seattle citywide garage sale. So
20th anniversary of it. No
yeah,
less.
Which is crazy. This is our 4th summer here.
Yeah.
Or soon to be summer. And this was the first year we've heard of it, thanks to TikTok. But it was the citywide garage sale. Apparently, if you live in West Seattle, you can just add your name to the list, and everyone in the city has a garage sale. And it's like
an interactive map.
Yeah. And you can attach a list to your listing, so your address and like what you're selling. So obviously I searched Lego, Rob searched records and vinyl
and games,
and
like for video games.
Cute little homework working man Rob, he sat up all night going through the list because there was 500 listings
all night. It was just a
long time, but there's like 500 listings, and luckily you can search the PDF for keywords. But then Rob went through the list and like highlighted everything that we wanted to look at, and then went on the map and made a check mark on the map where it was. So we made an interactive map, and we got really excited. And then we went down there, and it was kind of a bust.
Well, I mean, I think we always forget that garage sales are very much a rummage junk sale situation typically.
Yeah, they're not for us.
And also, I mean, and there's the occasional ones that have, it's like I always think of like the dream garage sales that have like 7 long boxes of comics that are all in boards and bags. And it's like, oh, you have a comic shop, but you just happen to be selling comics here.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Like, and not that I go shopping for comics, but like that level of like organization and, just pricing appropriately. Like, I don't know, there's something about like being a collector at a garage sale, but like so much of it is like, well, my kids outgrew this and it's heavily used, but your kids might dig it.
Yeah.
And like I always forget that's what garage sales basically are. So,
but we learned really quickly just how hilly West Seattle is, because I was like, we can park by Easy Street Records, centrally located, and look, this one's only 3 blocks from there. That map didn't show you that it's 3 blocks straight downhill. And
which was fine.
Which is fine going down.
Yeah, that was great.
And then there's just like random mountains all around West Seattle, or 1 block is up and 1 block is down. And
from like the junction, basically, that is at the top of a hill, more or less. Like it's kind of downhill in either direction.
Yeah, we're so used to just going to Easy Street and doing the farmer's market there and like walking around that intersection, and so we're like, oh, it's flat, it's fine. Nope, it is very hilly and very mountainous, and again, easy getting down, very hard getting up. I was just wearing like a pullover and shorts, and by the time we got back up the hill to Easy Street to have breakfast, I was pouring sweat out of my body. I was so hot and uncomfortable, but we did it. But we hit maybe 10,
maybe. Yeah,
just that we walked past.
Well, and it is the thing where I realized we had an expectation going into it, and although we adjust our expectations of like how many places we were going to go to, we didn't adjust our approach, and that was the problem, because we were like, okay, we'll park at this pay lot near Easy Street, and we'll just walk out from there, and then we'll hit Easy Street to get record shopping and get lunch or breakfast, or lunch or whatever, and then like hit the used bookstore and then go from there, because there was also a place we needed to go to like a couple blocks, many long blocks actually, from where we were. But like
we learned our lesson and we drove.
But like we kept thinking though that I think parking for the garage sale part of West Seattle was going to just be nuts. So it's going to be easier to park and go on foot.
Yeah.
Wrong. What we should have done was recognize that, okay, like if we want to do this, we just need to be cool that we're just going to be in the car for a couple minutes from place to place to place, and just because like parking was never going to be that hard.
No,
and so like we should have just recognized that like the car was going to be a vital tool for us. So instead we kind of just hit what was on foot, and then we took the car to the last place we needed to go before we wanted to go home. But also like I don't know, I wasn't heartbroken about being like a good solid half day, get home to the dog.
Yeah,
it was nice.
But I don't know why, but in my head, I didn't think it was going to be like a Lego store. But when people listed that they had Lego for sale, I don't know why I thought it was still going to be like sealed, unopened boxes of stuff.
Well, there was one place that listed like many brand new Lego sets, but I want to say that one was like so far south. It was almost White Center.
Yeah, we didn't even go down there.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's not even West Seattle.
Well, and we did go to one house that listed Lego, and they had sealed stuff, but it was all gift with purchases. Like it was poly bags. It was like Lego City stuff that clearly they got free with another purchase. And so like the sets were like new and clean, but they were not anything that I would want. But for the most part, the Lego listings were just
bags.
A Ziploc bag of dirty Lego. One lady even put a sign on that said "Good luck."
Yeah, it included the instructions for something where clearly they just opened all the bags and tossed them in there and just had a note saying "Good luck."
Yeah. One place just had like a bucket full of bricks that you could just scoop out of. I was like, oh, that's not
sanitary.
That's not what I meant.
Those need to be, I feel like, soaked.
Yeah, and I'm very particular when it comes to my Lego experience. Yeah. Like I don't buy open sets ever. I've never bought an open set, and I don't want an open set that someone else already did. I don't take apart Lego. Like I'll never take apart my sets. I'm very particular. That's just what I want.
And I feel like the closest that we'd probably get is like that one secondhand shop we went to, Bricks and Wheels, or
in Linwood.
Yeah, that because at least like while we were there looking at stuff, we literally saw them processing a used kit, and the way they were doing it was they were comparing the actual like just fully disassembled pile of bricks compared to the inventory list on the back in the back pages of the booklet, and they were making sure that thing was complete.
Yeah,
which like that is the only way that I will do a used probably Lego project, is if there is a guarantee that a sort of professional in that field has ensured that it is 100% complete before it gets to me.
Yeah,
like because otherwise they would drive me nuts.
Well, and also like the people, like there was people that didn't have like good shopping etiquette, people that didn't have good personal space etiquette, a lot of children just running around screaming everywhere.
There was one kid sitting on the ground that started horking like a cat that was about to have a hairball. I did not know what the kid was. I've never heard a child make that noise. He had snot running
down his face, and I was like, are we about to see a kid puke? I gotta go. I gotta go.
But yeah, it was like a weird hork, like inhale through a terrible nose. I don't even know what it was, but it was just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. And it just, after like the 10th one, I was like, I'm full of the ick. Can we go? This is not what I thought.
And we got our steps in. Like we did some really good walking.
Yeah. And we got to explore West Seattle a little bit. Really cute over there.
Still very cool neighborhood.
Yeah. And we had breakfast at Easy Street, which is one of our favorite breakfast places.
Yeah.
So it was a good day all around. We filmed some content. It was fun. It was just.
And you got to have some smell goods.
Yeah. We went to, Filigree and Shadow, a local perfumer down in West Seattle that we're friends with on TikTok, and I got to meet him finally and smell all of his various indie perfumes.
Yeah.
And it was really fun.
His custom concoctions.
We got to chat for an hour, and you know what? It was nice to talk to a 40-something gay man for an hour. Like that never happens
wasn't
anymore.
Me.
Yeah. Like we have friends, but not a lot of friends, and it's rare that we just get to go and talk to someone new, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Made me miss like being social for a second. And plus he was very like-minded to us. He was like, oh, I don't like crowds. Oh, I don't want to go around where kids are going to be. Oh, I don't want to do this. Well, I was like, oh, you're very much us.
And it was one of those situations where like, he has similar interests to Todd, and apparently his spouse is very similar to me.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things, I mean, his spouse wasn't there, but it still was one of those where it's like, there's, the clear personality balance that he understood.
Yeah. But fun day all around.
Yeah.
And then I came home and I tried to get Labubu's. Did we talk about this last week?
We did. We talked briefly about Labubu, about how like I'm trying to phase out the kid robot in our world, and you have found a new kid robot shaped thing to fill that hole.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But
I get it. I did it just 20 years ago. I'm happy for you, but you're very late.
The system finally broke me. It finally broke me because, like I said, Pop Mart. So you get Labubus from Pop Mart, and they gamified it. You have to go on the app. You have to swipe through all the listings, hope it lights up, and if it lights up, you tap it. Then you go shake it, and blah blah blah.
Which, by the way, if you're not doing this, you have to sit next to somebody making all these noises of the process of excitement, disappointment, confusion.
Come on,
it's just
I got it.
Like it, you hear them all.
So they've been doing a lot of secret drops. They don't really tell you. It's generally around 7 p.m. Pacific, but you never know which day. Sometimes it's 8 o'clock, sometimes it's 9 o'clock, sometimes it's midnight. Like you just never really know. They don't tell people when they're dropping. The way I usually find out is I check like on the hour, but sometimes I'll just be scrolling TikTok and a live will pop up and they'll be like, they just restocked. And so then I'll jump over to the app. Anyway, I got in right as the drop happened and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going to get one. And then I got one and it went into my cart and I was like, holy shit, I finally got a Labubu from Pop Mart that I wanted, one of the macarons. It's in my cart. We're doing this. And like the drop was happening. So you can add up to 4 to your cart, right? So I went back to the drop I was like, you know what, maybe I'll get a second one.
Because if you get 2, it's free shipping, right?
Yeah. And if you get 2, it's free shipping. And everyone says they always get 2. So after like 10 minutes, nothing else was happening. I was like, you know what? You only have a 15-minute timer to check out. So I was like, I'm going to check out. I still have 5 minutes left. And when I went to check out, I clicked on it. And as it loaded to the next page, it was like, this is sold out. And I was like, oh, what? And so like I tried to refresh. They had taken it out of my cart and given it to someone else. And I almost cried. I had like a rage stroke. I was so downhearted. I was so sad and defeated. It really got to me. It's just one of those things. It's almost like when you're having the worst day ever and you keep it together, you keep it all together and then you like, I don't know, drop an ice cube and then you just start crying. Like that's what that feeling felt like. I was just defeated. So finally.
That was a load-bearing Labubu.
It was a load-bearing Labubu. So finally I had seen a TikTok about someone saying you could just buy them off this thing called StockX, which I thought was like Alibaba or Temu. Like I thought it was fakes, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I would
Lafufus.
I was like, I would not be able to live with myself if I lost money and bought a fake. Like it would kill me if I bought a fake. because I hate counterfeits.
Well,
and
so that'd be you getting so swept up in this to like a weird degree.
Yeah, like if I got to a point where like I'm spending extra money outside of the app and it's a counterfeit, I would freak out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I finally saw a TikTok and then a couple more TikToks of people explaining StockX, and it's just a reselling website, but they verify every product on their website. It started for shoes and purses, but now they do, obviously Labubu's and toys and stuff like that. But it's just a reseller website, kind of like eBay. Like you can bid, I guess, if it's not a super popular item, you can submit a bid, kind of like what you do on Discogs. You can submit an offer. Yeah. But also you can just buy outright. And
well, it's on eBay. You can set a price, or you can do a buy it now or auction.
So StockX has cases of Labubus because they come 6 to a case. And I was like, the markup isn't that much. And I sat on it for a while and I pondered it, and I posted on my Instagram stories asking people if they had ever done it and all this stuff. And finally, I just bit the bullet and I did it. And I ordered a case from StockX, and it's supposed to arrive later this week. So I will update you.
Yeah, I was like, let's
if I get my case of Labubus. But I like needed them. I want them. I don't have to worry about it after this. I'll have them. It'll be done.
Yeah.
And then,
as I said, through with Labubu.
And then I can just casually look for them in the wild and about. I don't have to if I want other colors or something, I don't have to sit on the app and go through all that stress. And it was the weirdest experience where it was just killing me. And I'd rather just, for lack of a better term, throw money at the situation. And I said, the markup was not that much. So hopefully they're legit. It says everything on the website is verified legit. So hopefully I didn't just buy a case of counterfeits. Hopefully they don't cancel my order. Someone said their order got canceled. Who knows? So we shall see. I will update on next week's pod.
You're going to get a tinfoil wrapped Trapper Keeper.
But fingers crossed out there, everybody. Send me good vibes that I finally get my green grape Labubu, because I just want him so bad. All right. Well, I think having said that, talked about my being through with Labubus, I think it's time to do our final segment, which is What's Your Order? What's your order?
I'm responding like I got hit by the thing.
I know.
Still scared me.
We used to have America's favorite fast food restaurants in this box, and we would pick one out and say what our orders are, but we went through that years ago.
Those days are gone.
There hasn't been a fast food restaurant in these parts in years.
Not for y'all.
So now Rob, as a joke, said we should fill it with icebreakers, and I was like corporate icebreakers or interview icebreakers. And I was like, hey, that's a great idea, because I don't want to have to do any more work than necessary. So I filled it with icebreakers. Oh, So Rob, please choose. What's today's icebreaker?
Do you consider yourself a lemon or a lime, and why?
Oh. I mean, I guess if I really think about it, thank you, respected judges. I guess in life,
ergo,
therefore,
and then they can't find.
Okay,
lemon.
So I would say simply, if we're just going physical status, I would have to say I'm a lemon, because lemons are bigger than limes. But if we're factoring in color, I'm a lime, because I love green. I love green a lot more than I love yellow, while a giant yellow art is behind us. But so I would say I'm a lime if it's color, a lemon if it's size, flavor. I don't know, because I feel like I use both equally. Like I love a chicken piccata. I love a citrusy chicken or fish dish.
Yeah.
I love lemon in food. Love lemonade. But then I also love lime. Like if we eat Mexican food or sushi or poke, I use a lot of lime. Thai food, ooh. I go through a lot of lime with Thai food. If I'm drinking alcohol, gotta have a lime with whiskey.
Are you what you eat?
Right.
There's a lot of it all depends on how you want to approach this question.
I probably ingest more limes than I do lemons. Now, if we're talking personality, I think I'm more of a lime, because limes aren't as sour. I'd hope that I haven't completely given up on society and the world, and that I'm just completely bitter and sour. I feel like limes are more tolerable on their own. One of my favorite desserts of all time is key lime pie. So I guess if we're going off that, I'm a key lime, if we're going to get specific. So, but ultimately, I guess if I have to choose, I would say I'm a lime. I'm closer to lime.
Okay.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Lime.
I was going to go with full on lime, period. Because, I feel like physically I'm the smaller. green is the color I lean towards. Yeah, lemon is the thing I prefer in my mouth and I use more of. But limes also, I feel like you have a greater chance of them being not especially juicy and kind of stringy and difficult to work with. So I don't know. There's a lot of, and like limes are a little bit more biting, a little bit harsher, I feel at times. So a little bit more concentrated. So yeah,
they have a richer flavor.
There's a lot about the lime that I would like to begrudgingly accept as a similar quality to myself. So I'm a lime.
Yeah, I would say you're a lime.
Yeah,
like hardcore.
Yeah.
It's funny circling back to perfume. Lime is an accord I'm really enjoying in perfume right now. I have a couple.
I love a citrus note. I do. Yeah. Like I like a citrusy.
Most of my fragrances are citrus, but lime specifically, it's making a comeback. It's making a resurgence in fragrance, and I really like it.
I mean, also, you could literally take coffee beans and rub them on your neck, and I'd be like, that is the greatest smell that has ever happened. Like, I love coffee.
Good to know.
I mean, or spill coffee on yourself in the morning and then just ride it through the day. Like, just splash some black coffee on you.
Yeah.
You're good.
You are a good coffee boy. In Italy, they put lemon in coffee.
Which...
we haven't done yet.
No, I was like, I mean, seriously, we tried the olive oil thing as a country, not me personally. I tried it. I did not care for it.
Olive oil and coffee. It just didn't work. Although I will say, lemon in Diet Coke, I like.
Oh, yeah.
If they serve it to me like that at a restaurant, I'll put it in.
Oh, yeah.
I won't ask for a lemon with my Diet Coke, but if they serve it, I'm putting it in.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of, or a lime.
See,
you give it like seriously, like well, and also I and forgive me, this might just be me showing my ignorance here, but like in the 4 years of high school Spanish that I took, so I can speak like a child, I know of the word for both lime and lemon as limon.
Yeah.
Is there a word that distinguishes, or do you literally have to go into color, or is it just context? Like, is it just where people just know what to go where? I'm curious. Like, please respond.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a pronunciation thing that we don't have.
Because I'm curious, and I feel like that might just be some context that was not worth going into at the level I was learning it. but it's funny because I mean, it's nice one word for both. But I'm like, I'm the guy to ask you with the book or the movie. I need to know if you mean the green one or the yellow one.
Yeah, you need details.
Yeah.
Well, and it changes everything. I mean, you're not going to.
Yeah, the juice of a lime versus the juice of a lemon. That's a lot of moisture difference.
Yeah. You're not going to put lemon in your whiskey. That's gross. But lime totally works.
I'll take your word for that.
All right. So we're just a couple of limes.
We are.
We're just two limes over here.
We're that guy who can't hold all these limes.
Oh, wait. There was one more thing about, I forgot it. Was it about Jell-O? No.
No, I do love lime Jell-O.
Yeah. I was going to say, usually I like lime candy over lemon, but.
Yeah. We love a lemon soap.
I do love a lemon soap. And air freshener and candle. Like lemon is a good fresh kitchen scent.
Well, and we were just like talking about, we were watching a YouTube compilation of Ina Garten, and she was doing like her favorite spring recipes, and they were all basically lemon pastas, which is like, yep, sold. You got me with both lemon and pasta.
Yeah.
It's basically why I watched Jada's cooking show 1,000 years ago, is because it was all lemon based pastas.
It's part of her logo for Jadsi. She loves a lemon.
She does.
But all right. Well, a couple of lemons over here, or a couple of limes over here. Let us know what you are.
Right.
You limey bastard.
Right. I was waiting for one of us to get called a limey bastard, and I did earn it.
All right. Well, kind of a short episode today, but I'm enjoying these shorter episodes.
Right.
I think we might stick closer to 30 minutes from now on.
Well, I mean, if it organically goes long, it goes long.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you don't
Sometimes
need
all you
more.
got is 30 minutes in you.
Right. Sometimes you don't need more.
Yeah. Plus, I'm very hungry.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about lemons and limes.
Well, it's like I ate right before this podcast for once, so I'm not like starving, but I can always reheat some pizza.
You could marathon. You're like, we'll be here all day.
Right? Let's go.
Phone lines are open.
Filibuster time.
Meanwhile, this buster needs to get filled with food.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Your homework for this week is call your mother.
Oh, yeah.
Go call your mom. I mean, it's a little too late to call her on Mother's Day if you're listening to this now, but if you haven't called her, give her a call or deal with her however you deal with her.
Yeah.
But just kind of acknowledge your mother for a second. And yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. We love you. Goodbye.